Tiktuk Masot HaMikra, Parashat Beresheet 11, in the same pasuk, Lezot Yikare Isha. For her, who was taken from Ish, from Adam, Yikare Isha. He called, the Kadosh Baruch Hu called the creation from the man, Isha, woman. The spelling of Isha is Aleph, Shin, Yud, Aleph, Shin, Hey, with the dagesh in the Shin. Ibn Ezra comments the following: V'gdakshut Shin Isha Timurat Hayod Hanach Ne'alam Shehu Beish. He said, why do we have the dagesh? And in fact, if it's derived from Ish, why isn't there a Yod there? So he said that the Yod is dropped, and because the Yod is dropped, there's a dagesh in the Shin to indicate there was a letter that was dropped. Now he goes on to explain why it didn't just have add the Hey at the end of Ish. Aleph, Yod, Shin, Hey, for the feminine form of man and woman. It would have said Isha. He said, V'yitachen, the reason could be that it's why there's a dagesh and not the rafeh with the Yod in there. So it shouldn't be mixed up. Shelo yitarev im Isha shehu ba'ala. There is another word that's spelled Aleph, Yod, Shin, Hey, Isha, which means her husband, Isha, which is used, her Baal, her husband, Ba'ala. It's used many times in the Torah, and he says sometimes there's a dagesh there's a mapik in the head, there's a dagesh. Sometimes it's not. It would have been written exactly the way we thought that maybe the feminine of Ish would have been Isha, Aleph, Yod, Shin, Hey, without a dagesh in the head. Sometimes we see it that way. So in order not to get confused with that form of the word, of the noun, which means her, Ba'ala, her husband, therefore Isha here was not used with a Yod. The Yod is dropped, and there's a dagesh in the Shin. Now, what about the plural? Ish, the plural is Anashim. Okay? The plural of the feminine form of Isha is Nashim. It's not Anashot. It's not something like that. It's Nashim. Both of those come from the word he uses. The source of that is Enosh, which we see later on in the parasha. Enosh, which means also a man. And it's not derived from Isha. Nashim is not derived from Isha. Anashim is derived from Enosh, and Ish also is derived from Enosh, except the nun is dropped. So you have Ish from Enosh, and then Isha also comes originally from that, with the nun that's dropped. In the plural, we see the nun in both cases from Enosh, but the Aleph of Anashim, in order to form the plural for women, is dropped and now becomes Nashim. You might wonder why that Aleph is dropped and it's not Anashot. We won't talk about it here, but you can think about that. For some reason, it's Nashim when the Aleph is dropped and not Anashot. It is Anashim in the plural, Ish Anashim, Isha Nashim, not Anashot.